You asked for it, so here it is. Over 385 random, ridiculous facts packed into one mega compilation. Somewhere in this video, we've hidden a secret word. Find it, comment it, and prove you made it all the way through. Let's get useless.
So many questions. Why is the world spinning? Why is the moon keeping its orbit? Can rockets fly backwards? The facts you didn't know you needed. The Useless Show.
Somewhere in Japan, giant hornets are roaming with venom so potent it can melt human skin. In Canada, there's a place where gravity mysteriously weakens. Meanwhile, in Turkey, rare roses bloom so dark they appear completely black. Never heard of them? The heaviest drinkers in the world are found in Belarus, where the average person consumes approximately 17.5 liters of alcohol each year. This makes Belarus the country with the highest per capita alcohol consumption, with vodka and other spirits being particularly popular. The country's drinking culture is deeply ingrained in its traditions and social life. Polar bears evolved from brown bears approximately 150,000 years ago in the region surrounding Britain and Ireland. Over time, they adapted to the Arctic environment, developing thick white fur for camouflage, a layer of fat for insulation, and specialized hunting techniques. These adaptations allowed them to survive in some of the harshest conditions on Earth. The cheetah holds the title of the fastest land animal, capable of reaching speeds of approximately 75 miles per hour in short bursts. However, the fastest bird, the peregrine falcon, can reach astonishing speeds of 242 miles per hour when diving to catch prey. This makes it the fastest creature in the animal kingdom overall. Despite being a living organism, a jellyfish lacks many of the features found in most animals. It has no ears, eyes, nose, brain, or heart, yet it can still move, hunt, and reproduce. Instead of a brain, it relies on a simple nerve net to detect stimuli, and it moves using pulsations of its bell-shaped body. The largest earthquake ever recorded occurred in Chile in the year 1960, measuring between 9.4 and 9.6 on the magnitude scale. This massive quake lasted for 10 minutes and triggered devastating tsunamis that affected coastal regions as far away as Hawaii and Japan. It remains one of the most powerful natural disasters in history. Facebook had around 2,320 million monthly active users as of December 31st, 2018. This makes it the largest social media platform in history, connecting people from all over the world. With billions of posts, messages, and videos shared daily, Facebook continues to shape global communication and social interactions. The African driver ant is one of the most prolific insect species, capable of producing between 3 to 4 million eggs every 25 days. These ants live in massive colonies and are known for their aggressive swarming behavior, which allows them to overwhelm and consume prey much larger than themselves. They are a key part of many ecosystems. Over recent decades, the average intelligence quotient, or IQ, has been declining, a phenomenon sometimes called the reverse Flynn effect. One possible explanation is that people with higher intelligence are choosing to have fewer children. This shift in birth rates has contributed to a gradual decrease in overall IQ scores across multiple generations. Football is the most popular sport in the world, attracting billions of fans across different continents. Cricket comes in second place, followed by field hockey in third. These sports have rich histories, deep cultural significance, and massive followings. Football alone has more than 4 billion fans, making it the most widely played and watched sport globally. Each human sperm cell carries approximately 3 billion base pairs of genetic information, which is equivalent to about 750 megabytes of digital storage. This means that a single ejaculation contains multiple terabytes of genetic data, storing all the information necessary to create a unique human being. This incredible biological system ensures genetic diversity and reproduction. 1 out of every 4 construction cranes in the world is located in Dubai, highlighting the city's rapid urban development. The Palm Islands, one of the most famous artificial land projects in Dubai, required enough sand to fill 2.5 Empire State Buildings. This ambitious engineering feat has transformed the city's coastline significantly. Humans have between 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day, with approximately 80% of them being negative. This suggests that our brains are naturally wired for critical thinking, problem-solving, and self-preservation. While negative thoughts help us identify dangers and challenges, Too much negativity can contribute to stress and anxiety, affecting mental well-being. The human brain contains around 100 billion neurons, each forming thousands of connections with other neurons. These connections create a vast network that allows for complex thought, memory, emotions, and decision-making. The brain is one of the most energy-intensive organs in the human body, consuming about 20% of the body's total energy supply. The highest cheese consumption per capita occurs in European countries, with France ranking as number 1. The average French person eats approximately 25 kilograms, or 57 pounds, of cheese per year. Cheese is an important part of French cuisine, with hundreds of varieties available, ranging from soft and creamy to hard and aged cheeses. The highest temperature ever recorded on Earth was 136 degrees Fahrenheit, or 58 degrees Celsius in El Azizia, Libya, on September 13, 1922. This extreme heat remains one of the most intense natural temperatures recorded, demonstrating the power of Earth's climate and the potential for extreme weather conditions in desert regions. A single teaspoon of soil contains more living organisms than the total human population on Earth. These microorganisms include bacteria, fungi, and tiny invertebrates, all of which play a crucial role in maintaining soil health. This hidden ecosystem is essential for plant growth, nutrient recycling, and supporting life on land, making soil one of the most vital resources. Despite being widely associated with vitamin C, oranges do not even rank among the top 10 foods for vitamin C content. Many other fruits and vegetables, such as bell peppers, kiwis, strawberries, and guavas, contain significantly higher amounts of this essential nutrient. This challenges the common belief that oranges are the best source of vitamin C. The Milky Way galaxy is home to an estimated 100 to 400 billion stars, and the observable universe contains more than 100 billion galaxies. This means there are an unimaginable number of stars in existence, with many potentially hosting planets capable of supporting life. The vastness of space remains one of the greatest mysteries of science. Astronomers have discovered what is believed to be one of the oldest stars in the universe, located approximately 6,000 light-years from Earth. This ancient star is estimated to have formed shortly after the Big Bang, around 13.8 billion years ago. Its existence provides valuable insight into the early formation of stars and galaxies. Penguins are excellent divers and can hold their breath underwater for up to 20 minutes. This ability allows them to hunt for fish and other marine life in the cold waters of the Antarctic. Their streamlined bodies and strong flippers make them highly efficient swimmers, capable of reaching impressive depths in search of food. Scientists estimate that the average cloud weighs approximately 500,000 kilograms, which is equivalent to the weight of 100 fully grown elephants. Despite their massive weight, clouds appear to float effortlessly in the sky because the water droplets inside them are spread out over a large area, making them less dense than the surrounding air. Research suggests that around 95% of the decisions humans make are influenced by the subconscious mind before they even reach conscious awareness. This means that most of our daily choices, ranging from what we eat to how we react to situations, are guided by deeply ingrained habits, past experiences, and instinctual responses. By the time a child reaches the age of 2, their brain has already grown to approximately 80% of the size of an adult human brain. This rapid development is crucial for early learning, as neural connections form at an astonishing rate during infancy, laying the foundation for language, problem-solving, and motor skills. Birds that migrate long distances often fly in a V formation to conserve energy. The bird at the front experiences the most wind resistance, while those behind benefit from the air currents created by their wing beats. To prevent exhaustion, birds take turns leading and move to the back when they become tired, ensuring efficient travel. Liking the facts so far? Show some love with a like. The average human tongue contains approximately 10,000 taste buds, which allow us to experience a variety of flavors such as sweet, sour, bitter, salty, and umami. These taste buds do not last forever. They regenerate every 2 weeks, ensuring that our sense of taste remains sharp and continues to function throughout our lives. If all the stored batteries in the world were to be used at the same time for power consumption, they would be completely drained within 10 minutes. This demonstrates how reliant we are on continuous electricity generation and highlights the limitations of current battery storage technology when compared to the global energy demand. The Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, stands at a staggering height of 2,700 feet. or approximately 830 meters. Construction of this iconic skyscraper began in the year 2004 and took 4 years to complete. Today, it remains a symbol of modern engineering and architectural achievement. Almost 10% of all people in China have the last name Wang, which translates to king. Due to the country's vast population, this means that tens of millions of individuals share the same surname, making it one of the most common last names, not just in China, but in the entire world. Humans process an astonishing 11 million bits of information every second, but the conscious mind is only aware of approximately 40 of these pieces of information at any given moment. The vast majority of data is filtered out by the brain automatically, allowing us to focus only on the most relevant stimuli. Russia is so vast that its total landmass is approximately 1.8 times the size of the United States. It stretches across 11 time zones and covers a significant portion of the Northern Hemisphere, making it not only the largest country in the world, but also one of the most geographically diverse. Air pollution in Beijing, China, has become so severe that locals have coined the term Beijing cough to describe the persistent respiratory issues caused by inhaling the polluted air. The city frequently experiences dangerously high levels of smog, which can significantly impact health, causing lung diseases and other long-term complications. In the year 1967, the Prime Minister of Australia, Harold Holt, mysteriously disappeared while swimming off the coast of Victoria. Despite extensive search efforts, his body was never found. It took nearly 4 decades for authorities to officially confirm that he had drowned, making his disappearance one of history's greatest mysteries. Martial artist and actor Jackie Chan has an unusual family history. His mother was a drug smuggler while his father worked as a spy. In a twist of fate, they met when Jackie Chan's father arrested his mother for smuggling opium. Despite this unusual beginning, they later fell in love and married. Filmmaker George Lucas originally envisioned the role of Mace Windu in the Star Wars franchise to be played by legendary rapper Tupac Shakur. However, Tupac tragically passed away before he had the chance to audition for the role. As a result, the part was ultimately given to actor Samuel L. Jackson. Japan has an unusual approach to handling crime statistics. In many cases, police officers officially classify murder cases as suicides to maintain the perception of low crime rates. This practice is intended to protect the reputation of law enforcement, but often results in inaccurate crime data and unresolved investigations. Scorpions are incredibly resilient creatures, capable of surviving in some of the harshest environments on Earth. One of their most impressive abilities is their capacity to hold their breath underwater for up to 6 days. This adaptation allows them to survive flash floods and other environmental challenges in their natural habitats. Ethiopia follows a unique calendar system that differs from the one used in most of the world. Due to its 13-month year, the country is currently in the year 2006 rather than 2025. This traditional calendar, based on the ancient Coptic system, remains in official use today. In the year 1853, the city of New York purchased the land that would become Central Park for $5 million. Today, that same land is valued at approximately $530 billion, making it one of the most expensive real estate properties in the entire world. The oldest known musical instruments date back approximately 43,000 years. Archaeologists have discovered flutes carved from bird bones and mammoth ivory, suggesting that early humans had a deep appreciation for music and possibly used it for rituals, communication, or simple entertainment, long before the development of modern civilization. In zero gravity, fire behaves differently than it does on Earth. Instead of flickering with an elongated shape, a flame in space appears round and blue. This occurs because, without gravity, hot air does not rise, and the fire burns in all directions evenly, creating a unique spherical appearance. Studies have shown that people with highly creative minds often struggle to fall asleep at night and naturally prefer to stay up later. This phenomenon is linked to increased brain activity, as creative individuals tend to have a more active imagination, leading to a constant flow of thoughts that make it difficult to wind down. During the 1950s, studies revealed that patients in mental asylums experience stress levels comparable to modern-day high school students. This highlights the immense pressure placed on students due to academic expectations, social dynamics, and future uncertainties, which can have serious effects on mental health. A group of lemurs is called a conspiracy. a name that perfectly matches their secretive and coordinated movements. These highly social primates live in close-knit groups and rely on teamwork for survival, making their collective name both fitting and amusing. The longest prison sentence ever recorded was an astonishing 320,000 years, given to a man named Gabriel Grandos. He was convicted for failing to deliver over 70,000 letters, an offense that led to a historically extreme punishment, far exceeding a normal human lifespan. The United Arab Emirates is currently developing an advanced city designed to run entirely on renewable energy. With a zero-waste ecological system, this city aims to set a new standard for sustainability, reducing dependence on fossil fuels and minimizing environmental impact. A study by the Bureau of Economic Research concluded that firstborn children tend to have higher IQs than their younger siblings. Researchers suggest this may be due to increased parental attention and responsibility placed on the eldest child, leading to cognitive advantages. The world's smallest poisonous frog measures just 10 millimeters in length. Despite its tiny size, this frog secretes a powerful toxin from its skin as a defense mechanism, making it highly dangerous to predators in its natural rainforest habitat. In Iraq, there is a natural gas vent known as the Eternal Fire that has been burning continuously for over 4,000 years. The flames emerge from underground gas pockets and were even referenced in ancient texts, making it one of the longest-lasting natural fires on Earth. Believe it or not, farting has been shown to help reduce blood pressure and contribute to overall health. The release of gas relieves internal pressure and can also indicate a well-functioning digestive system, though it may not always be the most socially acceptable health benefit. The artificial sweetener Splenda was discovered entirely by accident. A researcher misheard instructions to test this chemical as taste this chemical, leading to the unexpected realization that the compound had a sweet taste. This fortunate mistake resulted in the creation of one of the most widely used sugar substitutes. Before Sylvester Stallone sold the script for Rocky, he was so broke that he had to sell his beloved dog for $50. Just a week later, after selling the script, he tracked down the new owner and bought his dog back for $3,000, proving just how much he loved his pet. Chinese soldiers use an unusual technique to maintain a straight posture during military parades. They place small needles in their shirt collars, forcing them to keep their chins up and their backs straight, ensuring perfect discipline and uniformity. Following Hurricane Katrina in 2005, a bizarre and concerning event occurred: the disappearance of 36 armed dolphins trained by the U.S. Navy. These dolphins, equipped with toxic dart guns capable of killing a person with a single shot, vanished into the Gulf of Mexico, raising fears about their potential use in unintended situations. A Dutch artist discovered a way to create clouds indoors by carefully controlling humidity, temperature, and lighting. This artistic technique allows him to produce stunning floating clouds in the middle of a room, blurring the line between art and science. The largest cemetery in the world is the Wadi al-Salam Cemetery in Iraq, spanning approximately 6 square kilometers. It holds an unknown number of bodies, estimated to be in the millions, with an additional 500,000 burials occurring each year. Before receiving his infamous facial scar, the character Scar from The Lion King had a very different name: Taka. In Swahili, Taka means garbage, giving his backstory an even darker undertone and making his transformation into a villain more symbolic. Benjamin Franklin, despite his brilliant mind, was not entrusted with writing the U.S. Declaration of Independence. The reason? His colleagues feared that he might sneak a joke into the historical document, as he was well known for his wit and humor. At its peak, the mobile game Candy Crush was generating an astonishing $956,000 per day. This simple yet addictive puzzle game became a global sensation, proving that mobile gaming could be incredibly lucrative. Some of the most successful figures in history, including Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Walt Disney, and Mark Zuckerberg, all dropped out of school. Despite not completing formal education, they went on to revolutionize their respective industries, proving that success is not solely dependent on academic achievement. The world's deepest indoor pool, named Nemo 33, is located in Brussels, Belgium. It reaches a depth of 108 feet or 32 meters, making it a popular destination for professional divers and underwater training exercises. The torrent site Pirate Bay once attempted to purchase its own island to establish a country free from copyright laws, aiming to create a digital haven where online piracy would be legal. Their ambitious plan, however, never came to fruition due to legal and financial obstacles. Prairie dogs have a unique way of greeting each other that might surprise you. Instead of a simple nuzzle or sniff, they actually kiss when they meet. This adorable behavior helps them recognize one another and maintain strong social bonds within their communities. Humans possess the ability to see ultraviolet light, but this capability is naturally blocked by the lens in our eyes. However, individuals who undergo lens removal surgery, often due to cataracts, gain an unexpected ability to perceive ultraviolet wavelengths, revealing a world of colors invisible to most people. The flag of the Philippines serves as more than just a national symbol. It is also a signal of the country's state of peace or war. In peacetime, the blue stripe is displayed on top, but during times of war, the red stripe is positioned above, signifying conflict and readiness to defend the nation. In the Northwest Territories of Canada, license plates are not just standard rectangles like in most places. Instead, they are uniquely shaped like polar bears, a fitting tribute to the region's wildlife and its deep connection to the Arctic environment. Crows possess an extraordinary ability to recognize human faces and remember those who have wronged them. These intelligent birds can hold grudges, warn other crows about specific people, and even pass this knowledge down to future generations, ensuring that the perceived threat is never forgotten. Jaguars in the wild are known to seek out and consume hallucinogenic roots, an unusual behavior that heightens their senses and enhances their hunting abilities. This natural psychedelic experience gives them an edge in detecting prey, making them even more formidable predators in their ecosystem. The book Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire became significantly longer than the previous 3 books because J.K. Rowling made an unintentional plot hole midway through writing. To fix the issue without disrupting the overall story, she had to go back and rewrite portions, ultimately expanding the book's length. Cherries contain 2 powerful compounds that have been scientifically proven to inhibit tumor growth. Remarkably, these compounds can even cause cancer cells to self-destruct while leaving healthy cells unharmed, making cherries a fascinating natural food with potential cancer-fighting properties. On the planet Venus, the atmosphere is so extreme that it snows metal. The scorching surface temperatures and high-pressure conditions cause metallic compounds like lead and bismuth to vaporize, later condensing and falling like snow, creating an otherworldly landscape. The United Nations has officially recognized access to the internet as a fundamental human right. This declaration emphasizes the importance of digital connectivity in modern society, ensuring that people worldwide have the ability to access information, communicate, and participate in global discussions. Unlike many other animals, crocodiles do not have sweat glands to regulate their body temperature. Instead, they keep their mouths wide open to cool down, a behavior often mistaken for aggression, but actually serving as a natural air conditioning system to prevent overheating. A sloth's digestive system is incredibly slow, taking an astonishing 2 weeks to fully process a single meal. This sluggish metabolism helps conserve energy, allowing sloths to survive on a minimal diet while spending most of their lives hanging motionless in trees. On Valentine's Day in the year 2014, a group of single men in Shanghai decided to take action against romance. They purchased every odd-numbered seat in a theater showing Beijing love story, ensuring that couples could not sit together, making it a symbolic gesture in support of single people. In the year 2014, the Department of Transportation in Colorado had to make a bizarre adjustment to deter theft. The iconic mile marker sign reading 420 kept getting stolen due to its association with cannabis culture, so officials replaced it with a sign labeled 419.99 instead. Naked mole rats are one of the few animals that seem to possess an incredible biological advantage. They are highly resistant to cancer. Their unique genetic makeup allows them to live exceptionally long lives without developing tumors, a trait that continues to intrigue scientists studying longevity and disease resistance. LSD has been reported to have therapeutic effects on post-traumatic stress disorder. One notable case involved Yehiel Denur, a Holocaust survivor who had suffered from nightmares for 3 decades. After taking LSD, he was finally able to sleep peacefully for the first time in 30 years without experiencing traumatic visions. In the year 1983, a 61-year-old potato farmer named Cliff Young shocked the world by winning the Sydney to Melbourne Ultra Marathon. Unlike other athletes, he did not take breaks for sleep and simply kept running while the rest of the competitors rested, ultimately securing his victory in the grueling 544-mile race. A penguin's legs are much longer than they appear at first glance. Their bodies are covered in dense layers of feathers which hide the full length of their legs. If you could see beneath the fluff, you'd realize that penguins are much taller in structure than they seem. Queen Elizabeth never needed to carry a passport when traveling abroad. Since British passports are issued in her name, she was exempt from needing one herself. However, all other members of the royal family are required to possess passports when traveling internationally. Adam Rayner is the only known person in history to have been both a dwarf and a giant during his lifetime. At age 21, he was just 3 feet 8 inches tall. However, due to a medical condition, he experienced an extreme growth spurt and reached 7 feet 6 inches before his death. During World War II, 2 Japanese officers, Tokiyashi Mukai and Tsuyoshi Noda, held a competition to see who could kill 100 people first using only a sword. This brutal contest was reported in Japanese newspapers like a sports event, with regular updates on their kill count, making it disturbingly publicized. In the year 2006, the FBI planted an undercover agent in a Southern California mosque, pretending to be a radical extremist in hopes of catching real threats. However, the plan completely backfired when the mosque members became suspicious and reported him to the FBI, believing him to be a genuine extremist. Coal power plants emit up to 100 times more radiation into the environment than nuclear power plants producing the same amount of energy. Despite the common fear surrounding nuclear energy, coal ash contains radioactive elements like uranium and thorium, which are released into the air when burned in large quantities. A group of owls is called a parliament, a name derived from old folklore that associates owls with wisdom. This naming convention reflects the common perception of owls as highly intelligent creatures, often depicted in literature and mythology as symbols of knowledge, insight, and even mystical abilities. In the year 1987, a German shepherd named Gabby became a hero when she saved a zookeeper by fighting off an escaped jaguar at the Belgrade Zoo. She bravely defended the zookeeper, preventing a fatal attack. To honor her bravery, a statue was later built in her memory at the zoo. Cats are among the few animals that domesticated themselves, choosing to approach humans on their own terms. Unlike dogs, which were selectively bred for traits over generations, cats gradually adapted to human environments due to the abundance of rodents. Over time, they formed a mutually beneficial relationship with humans, leading to their domestication. Journalist Sarah Bongiorni and her family attempted to live without purchasing any products made in China for an entire year. They quickly found this nearly impossible due to the global reliance on Chinese manufacturing. Their experience, which highlighted the deep economic ties between countries, was documented in the book A Year Without Made in China. Japan is home to themed cafes unlike anywhere else in the world, including unique owl cafes. These establishments allow visitors to interact with real owls while enjoying a drink or meal. Guests can sometimes pet or hold the owls, making for a fascinating experience that blends relaxation with an up-close look at these majestic birds. In the mid-20th century, a man named John Thomas Doyle tragically took his own life by jumping from the Golden Gate Bridge. What made his case particularly unusual was the note he left behind, which contained only a single sentence. "I have a The meaning behind his words remains a mystery to this day. Lobsters were once considered undesirable food, often referred to as the cockroaches of the sea. Between the 17th and 19th centuries, they were so abundant that they were commonly fed to prisoners and servants. Over time, culinary advancements and changes in perception transformed them into a luxury food item enjoyed around the world. A tiny species of antelope, known as the dik-dik, gets its name from the sound it makes when alarmed. These delicate creatures are found in Africa and are among the smallest antelopes in the world. Despite their size, they have remarkable survival skills, using speed and agility to evade predators in the wild. Scientists are researching termites as a possible renewable energy source due to their ability to produce hydrogen. By consuming just a single sheet of paper, they can generate nearly 2 liters of hydrogen, making them one of the most efficient bioreactors on the planet. This research could help advance sustainable energy solutions. The first ticket ever purchased for the first Comic-Con in New York was bought by George R.R. Martin. At the time, the event was in its infancy, with only a small number of attendees. It has since evolved into one of the largest pop culture conventions in the world, drawing thousands of fans. In modern society, more people are affected by obesity than by hunger. While hunger remains a global crisis, the rise of processed foods, sedentary lifestyles, and poor dietary habits have led to an increasing number of obesity-related health issues. This shift has made obesity one of the most pressing public health concerns today. An inventor named Mike Warren Madden created a device called the aquatic pram, which allowed people to take their pet fish for a walk. The invention functioned as a mobile fish tank with wheels, making it possible for fish owners to transport their aquatic pets while giving them exposure to fresh surroundings. Several countries, including Quebec, Sweden, and Norway, have laws that prohibit advertising directly to children. These restrictions aim to prevent companies from encouraging children to pressure their parents into buying products. By limiting exposure to aggressive marketing tactics, these laws help promote healthier consumer habits and reduce childhood commercialization. Studies have shown that smokers are much more likely to develop gray hair prematurely compared to non-smokers. The chemicals found in cigarettes can cause damage to hair follicles, accelerating the aging process. This means that, in addition to the well-known health risks, smoking can also lead to visible signs of aging much earlier in life. Marshmallows were originally created as a remedy for sore throats. For centuries, juice from the marshmallow plant was used for medicinal purposes. In the 19th century, it was combined with egg whites and sugar to make a soothing treatment for children. The recipe became so popular that it evolved into the sweet treat known today. Skunks have highly developed muscles around their scent glands that allow them to spray their noxious fluid with incredible accuracy. They can hit a target from several meters away, making them one of the most precise animals when it comes to self-defense. This ability helps them deter predators and stay safe in the wild. Gorillas are among the sleepiest animals in the world, often resting for more than half the day. These great apes require long periods of sleep to recover from their highly active movements. Similar to humans, they create comfortable nests out of leaves and branches, ensuring a restful and secure sleep in their forest habitats. If all the blood vessels in the human body were laid out end to end, they would stretch an astonishing distance, circling the Earth more than twice. This intricate network plays a crucial role in delivering oxygen and nutrients to every cell, highlighting the complexity and efficiency of the human circulatory system. Kangaroos are a diverse group of marsupials, with a wide variety of species ranging in size and habitat. From the small tree-dwelling kangaroos found in dense forests to the large red kangaroos that roam the open plains, these unique animals have adapted to different environments, making them one of Australia's most iconic creatures. Sharks have one of the most diverse reproductive systems in the animal kingdom. Depending on the species, some sharks give birth to live young, while others lay eggs. Those that lay eggs produce protective cases, often called mermaid's purses, which safeguard the embryos until they are ready to hatch into the ocean. A man in Wisconsin once captured a rare photograph featuring 3 albino deer standing together in the woods. The chances of such a sighting occurring are astronomically low, making it one of the rarest wildlife encounters ever recorded. Albino deer are uncommon, and seeing multiple in one place is almost unheard of. An elephant drinks an enormous amount of water every day, enough to fill multiple large containers. This is necessary to keep its massive body hydrated, especially in hot climates where it loses water rapidly. Their trunks, which act like built-in straws, allow them to gulp down water in huge quantities within minutes. Wearing headphones for an extended period creates a warm, moist environment in the ears, which is the perfect breeding ground for bacteria. The number of bacteria can multiply significantly in just an hour, making it essential to clean headphones regularly and allow ears to breathe. Camels have an extraordinary adaptation for desert life: 3 eyelids that protect their eyes from harsh winds and blowing sand. These extra eyelids function like built-in goggles, keeping vision clear even in the most intense sandstorms. Donkeys have an incredibly wide field of vision due to the unique placement of their eyes. This allows them to see all their feet at once, which helps them navigate tricky terrain with remarkable precision, avoiding obstacles and ensuring steady footing. Slugs are far more complex than they appear. They have retractable tentacles that function like eyes, tiny blowholes for breathing, and thousands of razor-sharp teeth arranged in rows. These teeth help them grind down food with surprising efficiency. Praying mantises have a brutal mating ritual where a significant number of male mantises meet their end. The female often begins by biting off the male's head, which strangely enough enhances the mating process. Despite this, males still willingly approach females, ensuring the continuation of the species. Flamingos are not naturally pink when they hatch. Their vibrant color develops over time due to their diet, which is rich in brine shrimp and algae. Without these food sources, flamingos would remain a pale, grayish-white shade. The loneliest creature in the world is a whale in the North Pacific that sings at a unique frequency no other whales can hear. This means it calls out endlessly without ever receiving a reply, making it a heartbreaking symbol of isolation in the vast ocean. The largest living organism is not an animal but a massive underground fungus in Oregon. It stretches across a vast expanse of land, covering more ground than multiple city blocks combined. Despite appearing like separate mushrooms on the surface, it is a single interconnected organism beneath the soil. If you learned something new, hit that like button. Much like fingerprints, every human tongue has a unique pattern. The ridges and textures differ from person to person, making it possible to identify individuals just by examining their tongues. A newborn human has significantly more bones than an adult. Over time, many of these bones fuse together, particularly in the hands and wrists, which make up a large portion of the body's bones. Throughout a human lifetime, enough saliva is produced to fill multiple swimming pools. This constant production of saliva plays a crucial role in digestion, keeping the mouth moist and breaking down food. A group of parrots is fittingly called a pandemonium, a term that perfectly captures their noisy, energetic nature. When several parrots gather, their loud and chaotic chatter makes them live up to the name. Sterling silver is not made entirely of silver. Pure silver is too soft, so a small amount of copper is mixed in to give it the necessary strength and durability for making jewelry and household items. Chewing gum while cutting onions can prevent tears by forcing a person to breathe through their mouth. This reduces the amount of onion fumes reaching the eyes, making the experience much less tearful. Honey is the only food that never spoils. Archaeologists have discovered jars of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs that are still perfectly edible after thousands of years thanks to its unique chemical properties. When Coca-Cola first launched, it was not an instant success. In its first year, only a handful of bottles were sold. Today, it is one of the most consumed beverages in the world, with millions of bottles sold every day. There are no truly blue foods in nature. Even foods that seem blue, like blueberries, are actually closer to shades of purple. This rarity of blue in natural foods is why it is one of the least appetizing colors in food presentation. Bees work tirelessly to produce even the smallest amounts of honey. It takes the combined efforts of many bees working their entire lives just to produce a single teaspoon of honey. Long ago, enormous ducks the size of horses roamed what is now Australia. These massive birds, known as Dromornithidae, lived tens of thousands of years ago and were among the largest flightless birds to have ever existed. For those who love extravagance, gold glitter pills are available online for an outrageous price. These capsules claim to turn waste into something dazzling, proving that luxury can be taken to some truly bizarre extremes. The anxiety of being without a phone has a name: nomophobia. With smartphones becoming an essential part of daily life, this fear is more common than ever, especially among younger generations. The modern flush toilet owes its creation to Thomas Crapper, whose name became humorously linked to the very function of the device. Although he did not invent indoor plumbing, his contributions popularized its use. At the University of Victoria in Canada, students can enroll in a course dedicated to the science of Batman. This unique class explores human physical limitations in psychology, using the Caped Crusader as a reference. The Philippine island of Luzon is home to a geographic wonder, a lake that contains an island which contains another lake, which itself has yet another island inside. This fascinating chain of nested landforms is a rare natural occurrence. There is a place in Canada where gravity is weaker than the rest of the planet. Scientists believe this anomaly found in Hudson Bay may be caused by slow-moving convection within the Earth's mantle, subtly affecting gravitational pull. Red hair is exceptionally rare, with only a tiny fraction of the world's population possessing this fiery genetic trait. This uniqueness has led to myths and legends surrounding redheads in different cultures. A daring extreme sport called banzai skydiving exists, where participants throw their parachute out of a plane before jumping after it. The challenge is to catch and strap into the parachute mid-air before reaching the ground. In Ecuador, thrill seekers can experience the swing at the end of the world, a seat hanging from a treehouse perched on the edge of a cliff with no safety harness. As it swings out over the abyss, riders get a breathtaking view of an active volcano. Sunflowers have an astonishing ability to clean up radioactive waste. Their stems and leaves absorb harmful pollutants, making them a natural tool for environmental restoration. This is why the sunflower has become a global symbol for nuclear disarmament. Doctors with illegible handwriting have been responsible for thousands of preventable deaths each year. Misinterpreted prescriptions have led to patients receiving the wrong medications, proving that clear communication in medicine can be a matter of life and death. Applying sugar to an open wound can reduce pain and promote healing. Sugar absorbs moisture, which prevents bacteria from thriving, making it a simple but effective remedy for minor injuries. Real diamonds do not appear in X-ray scans. Unlike most gemstones, their unique atomic structure makes them invisible to this type of imaging, a fact that has occasionally been exploited in smuggling attempts. Germany was one of the first countries to recognize the link between smoking and lung cancer. Even Adolf Hitler led an anti-smoking campaign, believing tobacco to be harmful, an irony considering the many other harmful policies he supported. The creator of Pringles, Frederick Bohr, was so dedicated to his invention that he requested to have his ashes stored inside a Pringles can after his passing. His family honored his wish, placing his remains in the very container he designed. In the 1990s, Marvel and DC Comics collaborated on a crossover, merging Wolverine and Batman into a single character named Dark Claw. Deep in Turkey, there exists a rare type of rose that is entirely black. Found only in the town of Halfeti, these flowers achieve their unique coloration due to the specific pH levels in the soil. Sweden's recycling system is so efficient that the country actually runs out of garbage to process. To keep its waste-to-energy plants operational, Sweden imports trash from neighboring Norway, turning waste into power. While most people are familiar with identical and fraternal twins, there are several other types of twin births, including mirror twins, superfetation twins, and superfecundation twins. These rare variations occur due to complex biological processes during pregnancy. There exists a perfume that captures the exact scent of a freshly opened Pizza Hut pizza box. Initially created as a joke, it quickly became popular among fast food lovers who enjoyed the warm, cheesy, and slightly spicy aroma. Although it was released as a limited edition item, its popularity led to an overwhelming demand, with many people wanting to experience the scent of their favorite comfort food. The blue whale, the largest animal to have ever existed, has body parts that are almost beyond belief. Its tongue alone weighs more than an adult elephant, making it one of the heaviest body parts of any living creature. Even more astonishing is its heart, which weighs more than a small car. This massive organ pumps nearly 2,000 gallons of blood throughout its enormous body every single minute, allowing the blue whale to sustain its incredible size. Some people have an unusual hobby known as laborphilia, which involves collecting and studying beer bottle labels. These collectors appreciate the history, branding, and artistic designs of different breweries from around the world. Some labels date back centuries and provide valuable insights into cultural drinking habits. Enthusiasts often trade, buy, and showcase their collections at special events, with some rare labels becoming highly valuable among collectors. Dolphins do not drink water in the way humans or land animals do. Since seawater is too salty and could dehydrate or even kill them, they get all their hydration from the food they eat, mainly fish and squid. Their bodies have adapted to extract enough moisture from their diet, ensuring they remain hydrated without ever needing to take a sip of water. Japan is home to a terrifying insect called the giant hornet, whose venom is so potent that it can dissolve human flesh. Their sting is not only excruciatingly painful, but can also be deadly if multiple stings occur. These hornets are highly aggressive and are known for their ability to take down entire colonies of bees within hours, making them one of the most feared insects in the world. Before the 17th century, carrots were not orange as we know them today. Instead, they were mostly purple, white, or yellow. The bright orange variety we commonly see now is the result of a genetic mutation that later became the preferred type due to its sweetness and uniformity. Over time, farmers selectively bred orange carrots, which eventually replaced the original colors in most parts of the world. Despite being marketed as a healthier alternative, diet soda can be just as harmful to teeth as cocaine or methamphetamines. The artificial sweeteners and acids in diet soda erode tooth enamel at an alarming rate, increasing the risk of cavities and other dental issues. Studies have shown that excessive consumption of diet soda can cause significant damage to teeth, making it just as bad as some of the most harmful substances known to man. Okinawa, Japan, is considered one of the healthiest places on Earth, with over 400 people living beyond 100 years old. Their secret to longevity lies in their plant-based diet, an active lifestyle, and a strong sense of community. Many Okinawans follow a principle called hara hachi bu, which means eating until they are only 80% full, helping them maintain a balanced and healthy life. The glossy shine on Skittles and jelly beans comes from an unexpected source: insect secretions. The coating, known as shellac, is derived from the resin secreted by the lac bug, which is harvested and processed to create a shiny surface. While it is considered safe for consumption, many people are unaware that their favorite candies contain insect-derived ingredients to achieve their appealing look. Coca-Cola still uses coca leaves in its formula today, but with an important modification. A company in New Jersey first extracts the cocaine from the leaves before passing them on to Coca-Cola, ensuring that the final product remains legal and non-narcotic. This process has been in place for decades, allowing the company to maintain its signature flavor without the effects of the original coca plant. The honey badger is one of the toughest animals in the world, with skin so thick that it can withstand machete blows, arrows, and even spears. Their natural armor makes them incredibly difficult to kill, and they are known for their fearless and aggressive nature. In the wild, they have been seen attacking much larger animals, including lions, without hesitation, making them one of the most resilient creatures in nature. If the sun were scaled down to the size of a single cell, the Milky Way galaxy would be the size of the entire United States. This staggering comparison highlights the mind-blowing vastness of the universe, showing just how tiny our solar system is within the grand scale of space. Even at the speed of light, it would take over 100,000 years to travel across the Milky Way, proving how unimaginably massive our galaxy truly is. Grammatical pedantry syndrome is a form of obsessive-compulsive disorder that causes sufferers to feel an overwhelming need to correct every grammatical error they see. While this can be useful in editing or proofreading, it can also make social interactions difficult, as those affected struggle to ignore even the smallest mistakes in speech or writing. This compulsive need to correct grammar can often annoy others, making it both a blessing and a curse. Each year, the Netherlands sends 20,000 tulip bulbs to Canada as a symbol of gratitude for their help during World War II. This tradition began after Canadian forces helped liberate the Netherlands from German occupation, and as a token of appreciation, the Dutch royal family gifted Canada with tulips. The annual Tulip Festival in Ottawa continues this tradition, celebrating the strong bond between the two countries. There is a flower called the chocolate cosmos that smells exactly like chocolate, yet it is completely inedible. Despite its rich, cocoa-like fragrance, the plant does not produce any actual chocolate compounds. Native to Mexico, this rare flower is often sought after by gardeners who love fragrant plants, though it remains a purely decorative curiosity rather than a sweet treat. Amsterdam is home to an Adidas store that is shaped like a giant shoebox. This massive, building-sized replica of a shoebox serves as both a retail store and a striking landmark, drawing sneaker enthusiasts from around the world. The unique design makes it one of the most eye-catching brand stores in the world, blending architecture with creative marketing. Ben & Jerry's has a unique flavor graveyard where they honor all their discontinued ice cream flavors with actual tombstones. Located at their headquarters in Vermont, this quirky cemetery allows fans to visit and pay their respects to lost flavors such as peanut butter and jelly or wavy gravy. Some flavors have even been resurrected due to popular demand, proving that even ice cream can get a second chance. Donald Duck comics were once banned in Finland for a rather bizarre reason. He wasn't wearing any pants. While this story has been exaggerated over the years, there was a controversy surrounding the character's lack of trousers, leading to debates about appropriate content for children. Although the comics were eventually allowed, the myth of Donald Duck being banned for not wearing pants continues to amuse people worldwide. If the 1st of January in a leap year falls on a Sunday, then the months of January, April, and July will each have a Friday the 13th. This rare calendar occurrence happened in 1928, 1956, and 1984. The average commuter spends nearly 2 full days a year stuck in traffic. That's a whole weekend lost to honking horns, slow drivers, and existential crises about life choices. The Eiffel Tower isn't as rigid as it looks. On scorching summer days, the heat makes the iron expand, causing it to grow a few inches. When the wind is strong enough, it sways slightly, proving that even one of the most famous landmarks in the world has to go with the flow sometimes. Hollywood loves recycling, even when it comes to movie sets. The eerie and mysterious home of Sirius Black in the Harry Potter films was actually the same set used in the Sherlock Holmes movie. A little movie magic can turn the same place into 2 completely different worlds. A prison in Brazil found a creative way to rehabilitate inmates while also benefiting the community. In exchange for reduced sentences, prisoners can pedal stationary bikes to generate electricity for a nearby town. Every few hours of cycling earned them a day of freedom, making it a workout with real stakes. A man in China went all out when proposing to his girlfriend. To make the moment unforgettable, he had thousands of red roses sewn into a dress for her before asking for her hand in marriage. She said yes, probably because when someone goes that far, how can you say no? Long before modern laws existed, ancient civilizations already had systems in place to ensure justice. The Code of Hammurabi, written thousands of years ago, included progressive rules like minimum wage and personal freedoms. This legal system was around long before the Bible and shows how advanced ancient societies really were. The original Forrest Gump novel took the story in a much wilder direction than the film. At one point, Forrest joins NASA, goes to space, crash lands on an island, and ends up playing chess with the leader of a group of cannibals. Somehow, winning those matches became a matter of survival. McDonald's has a secret menu item that few people know about. If you ask for a special combination, you might get a McChicken sandwiched between a double cheeseburger. It's a fast food experiment that only the truly curious and very hungry dare to try. A hacker group once took down Papa John's website over something incredibly petty. Their motivation? The pizza delivery was 2 hours late. Rather than just leaving a bad review, they decided to go full cyber attack mode. The world's largest privately built nuclear fallout shelter isn't just a bunker, it's an underground fortress. Made using dozens of old school buses and covered in concrete, this massive shelter includes its own radio station, decontamination room, and even a chapel. Some people take disaster preparedness very seriously. Dubai takes luxury to another level, even when it comes to law enforcement. Police officers don't just drive regular cars. They cruise around in Lamborghinis, Bentleys, and Aston Martins. When the cops drive supercars, high-speed chases must look like action movie scenes. A prince in Abu Dhabi wanted a car that would break all expectations. He ended up commissioning a custom Mercedes-Benz with a ridiculously powerful engine that could go from 0 to 100 in under 2 seconds. To top it off, the entire car runs on biofuel. Because even royalty likes to be environmentally friendly. Some artists don't use paint or spray cans to create their work. Instead, they clean parts of dirty surfaces to make images, a technique called reverse graffiti or clean tagging. It's art that appears by removing filth, turning city grime into something beautiful. A Turkish artist has been painting for decades, despite never having seen his own work. Completely blind, he taught himself to draw and paint, relying purely on touch and memory. His pieces prove that vision isn't just about what the eyes can see. Aerogel, also known as frozen smoke, is one of the lightest materials on Earth. It's almost impossible to see or feel, yet it's strong enough to support thousands of times its own weight. Something so fragile-looking shouldn't be this tough, but nature loves paradoxes. A golden-haired Tibetan Mastiff once sold for millions of dollars, making it the most expensive dog in history. With its massive size and luxurious mane, it looked more like a lion than a pet. That's one lucky dog, literally worth its weight in gold. Unlike most of their feline relatives, tigers absolutely love water. They often take long swims to cool off, proving that not all cats are afraid of getting wet. Watching a tiger gracefully glide through the water is a sight that completely changes how people see big cats. South Korea has a special cereal that can't be found anywhere else. It's based on the Baltimore Orioles baseball team, creating the perfect mix of sports fandom and breakfast food. A crime reporter spent years covering gruesome murder cases, gaining recognition for his detailed reports. The shocking twist. He turned out to be the serial killer himself. Writing about his own crimes helped him stay ahead of the police, until his obsession with the details gave him away. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out this one next. There's a whole world of unknown facts waiting to be discovered, and you won't believe some of the things you've been unaware of until now. What if everything you thought was boring actually blew your mind? What if a girl vanished for a decade and was found living in gaming cafes? Dolphins had names like humans, and a war-blinded man saw again thanks to a horse headbutt? This isn't fiction. These are real facts, but not like you've ever heard them before. Here comes the first one.
So many questions. Why is the world spinning? Why is the moon keeping its orbit? Can rockets fly backwards? The facts you didn't know you needed. The useless show.
In Europe, a company made a straw that's not just a straw. It's called Life Straw, and you can use it to drink dirty, yucky water and still be safe. No batteries, no magic potions, just sip, and it removes almost all germs. It even gives you clean water for a whole year. Here's something wild. One of the things you need to make dynamite is peanuts. Not peanut butter or anything, just the peanut itself. Something inside it helps create powerful explosions. So yeah, the little nut you eat might also help blast holes in mountains. Dubai once said, "Lose weight, get gold." They had a real contest called Your Child in Gold. Families that lost weight got real gold coins, like a treasure hunt, but with treadmills. It was a cool way to make people healthy and rich at the same time. Once a guy sold pet rocks, yes, just normal rocks in a box, and people went crazy for them. In just 6 months, he made millions of dollars. The rock didn't move or bark, but it became the coolest pet ever. Sometimes simple ideas win big. When you fall into deep sleep, your nose kind of goes to sleep too. Even the worst smells like burning socks or skunk spray won't wake you. That's why smoke alarms are so important, because your nose takes a break when you dream. A beer company owner once made a special beer bottle that could also be used like a brick to build houses. He thought people could drink and build at the same time, but it never became popular, so the only beer walls now are in a museum and his old house. There's a magical lake in Australia that glows in the dark. When tiny little creatures in the water get disturbed, they light up like stars. It's called bioluminescence, and it looks like the lake is filled with blue fairy dust whenever you splash it. In Texas, some scientists created something wild, a spray made of real skin cells. It's like magic mist that you spray on wounds to heal them faster. No bandages, just science and protein in a can that helps your skin grow back like a superhero's. Andre the Giant was a huge man, both in size and in heart. He passed away in a hotel room in Paris while there to attend his dad's funeral. It's kind of sad and strange, like life gave him one last goodbye with his family. There's a math proof so long, it could be a whole library. It took more than 100 super smart people over 30 years to finish. And when they did, it was 15,000 pages long. That's like reading 1,000 comic books just to say, yep, it works. There's a spider that doesn't live alone. It builds giant webs with tens of thousands of its buddies. They're called social spiders, and they build one huge web together like a city in the sky. When they get too crowded, they just move and start building a new one somewhere else. Apples actually come from a place called Kazakhstan, and wild ones there taste like roses, strawberries, popcorn, even candy. Almost all apples today can be traced back to just 2 old trees. It's like the entire apple family tree started with 2 magical grandparents. In a city called Rotterdam, they decided to make a floating forest, not on land, but on water. They took trees and put them on boats so they float across the harbor. It's like tree pirates sailing around, just chilling and being eco-friendly. And everyone says don't eat yellow snow, right? But scientists say even white snow is kind of dirty. Snow acts like a magnet and grabs nasty stuff from car fumes in the air. So yeah, snow might look like frosting, but your body won't thank you for eating it. Bhutan is the only country that doesn't just care about money or buildings. Instead of measuring how rich they are, they measure how happy their people feel. They call it gross national happiness. Imagine a country that's more about smiles than skyscrapers. In England, if your house gets sunlight through the windows for 20 years straight, the law says no one can block that light. You earn your right to sunshine. If someone tries to build in front of you, you can say, "Back off, the light is mine." Turns out ancient Greek statues were not boring white like we thought. They used to be painted in super bright colors. Time just faded their colors away, and now they look like they're made of plain stone. But back then, they were colorful like candy. Vikings get shown in movies wearing horned helmets, but that's totally made up. The only real Viking helmet ever found is just a smooth metal dome, no horns at all. So those horns you see? That's Hollywood's costume department, not history. Back in the old Soviet Union, a plane crash killed almost the entire hockey team. The manager, who was Joseph Stalin's son, didn't want his scary dad to know. So he secretly built a whole new team fast, and Stalin never noticed the difference. There's a tiny country called Liechtenstein that you can actually rent for a night. Yeah, the whole country. One time, Snoop Dogg wanted to rent it for a music video, but they said no because he didn't ask early enough. Even a whole nation needs notice. One day, Australia's Prime Minister went swimming and just vanished. Poof. No one ever saw him again. His name was Harold Holt, and it happened in the 1960s. Imagine a country losing its leader to the ocean like he just dove into a portal and never came back. Your coffee can predict the weather. If the bubbles in your cup float toward the center, a storm might be coming. If they hang around the edge, it's usually clear skies. It's like your morning coffee becomes a tiny fortune teller in a mug. Elephants are like giant emotional memory banks. They remember their family members, and when one dies, they mourn deeply, even years later. Some stand near the bones and gently touch them, like they're saying a soft goodbye. These creatures feel more than we ever imagined. A boy once got hit by a baseball bat and almost died, until a woman named Penny gave him CPR and saved his life. Years later, she started choking, and that same boy, now older, saved her life by doing the Heimlich. It's like the universe said, now it's your turn. There's a creature people believe lives in the Gobi Desert, and it's called the Mongolian deathworm. It's like a horror movie snake that can zap its prey with electric shocks from its eyes. Scientists aren't sure it's real, but locals swear it's no bedtime story. Once in Germany, a sleepy bank worker dozed off on the number 2 key and accidentally sent out over 200 million euros. The payment was supposed to be just 62. The wildest part? The person who missed the mistake got fired, not the guy who dozed off. Every single day, people upload around 350 million photos to Facebook. And in total, more than 250 billion photos have been posted there. That's like trying to look at every photo ever taken by everyone, everywhere, and never finishing. Before Johnny Depp became Captain Jack Sparrow, the role was offered to Jim Carrey, but he chose to play Bruce Almighty instead. Imagine a totally different Jack Sparrow. Less pirate swagger, more talking fast and making wild faces. That one choice changed movie history forever. Reindeer are cooler than you think. Literally. Their eyes change color with the seasons. In summer, they turn golden to handle all the sunshine. In winter, their eyes become deep blue to see in the Arctic darkness. It's like their eyeballs come with built-in sunglasses and night vision. During a war, a homesick soldier named Carl got injured and was stuck at an air base. So he put up a sign with his hometown's name on it. Others copied him, and now there's a forest full of signs from all over the world, like trees holding stories. Since the first time humans tested a nuclear bomb back in the 1940s, at least 8 countries have gone boom over 2,000 times. These tests weren't video games. They were real explosions tested across deserts and oceans. Earth has had quite a few loud science experiments. There's a way of raising babies where you don't use diapers at all. Parents just learn to watch for tiny signals like baby wiggles or faces and take them to pee or poop on time. It's called elimination communication, and yeah, it's kind of like potty telepathy. Jackrabbits are like the superheroes of hares. They're not regular rabbits, and they can run faster than most dogs and jump higher than your dad can throw a ball. These long-eared athletes zoom across deserts like 4-legged rockets with built-in springs. In a Chinese zoo, the people are the ones in cages, and the animals roam free. Visitors ride inside special cars while lions and tigers walk around outside. It flips the whole zoo idea upside down and reminds everyone, nature isn't here to perform for us. Sea lice sound tiny and boring, but the baby ones are terrifying. Before they're born, they chew their way out of their mom's insides. Imagine growing babies with jaws that say, okay, time to escape. And boom, she's split open from the inside. Nature doesn't always play nice. In 2016, a 63-year-old woman in Tasmania had her first baby. Yeah, first baby ever. She became the oldest new mom in Australia. Everyone else was retiring, and she was just getting started with diapers and lullabies. According to health reports, the average American man now weighs more than ever, almost 200 pounds. Women, too, are heavier than 20 years ago. It's like portion sizes got bigger, chairs got wider, and snacks became a daily celebration instead of a treat. There's a flower out there that smells like a zombie's armpit. It's called the corpse flower, and it only blooms once every 7 to 10 years. When it does, it fills the air with a stink so strong it makes people gag. Yet, weirdos still line up to sniff it. A Japanese scientist found that when people look at cute animals like puppies or baby pandas while working, they actually do better. Your brain focuses harder just from seeing those little fluffy faces. It's like your heart says, aw, and your brain says, let's go. A guy named Patrick built Hogwarts Castle out of 600,000 matchsticks. That's not even the craziest part. He also used nearly 60 liters of glue to stick it all together. That's like swimming in a pool of glue and still coming out with pure magic. Sugar gliders are tiny flying fluff balls, but they're also super emotional. If they don't get love, attention, or a friend to snuggle, they get so sad they can actually die. These little creatures are basically flying hearts with huge eyes and bigger feelings. Back in the Middle Ages, people thought farting into jars could save them from the plague. Yeah, they'd literally capture farts, seal the stink, then sniff it like perfume. Doctors believed the smell of human gas was stronger than the Black Death. Welcome to the weirdest medicine ever. The richest woman in Germany met her husband while working secretly at BMW using a fake name. He had no idea she was worth billions until she was sure he liked her for who she was. Only after that, she dropped the truth. Talk about a billionaire love test. There are more insects on Earth than your brain can imagine. 10 quintillion of them. That's 10 with 18 zeros. For every one human, there are 200 million bugs. They're in the air, in the dirt, and maybe even watching you read this right now. In the early 90s, a bunch of yellow rubber ducks fell off a ship into the ocean, and they've been floating around the world ever since, washing up on beaches, helping scientists track ocean currents, and becoming the cutest accidental explorers in history. A group of researchers discovered something amazing. Teams made of people from different races solve problems better than teams where everyone looks the same. Different minds mean better ideas. It's proof that mixing cultures doesn't just feel good, it's smarter too. Clint Eastwood looked like a smoking badass in old movies, but in real life, he didn't smoke at all. He's actually super healthy, practiced meditation, and cared a lot about clean eating. The cigar was just an act. Behind the scenes, he was zen and sharp. In South Korea, kids under 17 can't play online games after midnight. Their IDs are tracked, and the game shuts off automatically. It's like your computer telling you, hey, go to bed. Whether they listen or not, that's another story. Once, billionaire Richard Branson flew a hot air balloon shaped like a UFO. Inside, it was a little person dressed like an alien. He landed in a field just to prank people on April Fool's Day. Imagine walking your dog and suddenly thinking aliens are here. The band Blink-182 made their company name so silly that lawyers had to say it with a straight face. They called it Pennywise Poo Poo Butt Incorporated. Imagine being a banker and having to ask, "Excuse me, are you from Poo Poo Butt?" When Daniel Craig ran off with Rachel Weisz, he kind of forgot to tell his fiancée. When she found out, she went full revenge mode and spent $1 million using his credit card. Talk about a breakup with a boom. She didn't cry, she just swiped. Back in old London, a man named Robert Hubbard was blamed for a massive fire. They said he tossed a firebomb into a bakery window. The twist? The bakery had no windows, he was too crippled to throw anything, and oh yeah, he wasn't even in the country. In China and Hong Kong, people jokingly called Jennifer Lopez something wild, Lord of Butt. It's not mean though, it's because of how insanely famous her backside is. To them, it's like royalty, and honestly, that title might be more powerful than Queen. Before he was a music superstar, Pharrell Williams worked at McDonald's. Actually 3 McDonald's. But he got fired from all of them for being lazy and stealing chicken nuggets. Imagine getting booted 3 times just for loving McNuggets more than minimum wage. Every December, a town in Peru has a wild tradition. People settle their beefs with full-on fistfights in the street. It's called takanakui. They punch it out, hug it out, then drink together. Imagine ending your grudge with a punch in a party. That's a real-world reset button. Doctors now use a checklist before surgery that asks stuff like, is this the right patient? And what are we even doing? It might sound simple, but this list cuts surgery deaths nearly in half. One small habit now saves tons of lives every day, like magic through common sense. A long time ago, the Great Pyramids weren't just dusty triangles. They were shiny, like mirrors. Workers polished every stone until it gleamed in the sunlight. The whole thing sparkled like a diamond in the desert. Imagine walking past a building that blinds you with its shine. In 2010, the toy company Mattel sold something totally invisible. It was Wonder Woman's invisible jet, and the box was literally empty. But it had weights to make it feel like something was inside. People actually bought air. That's how powerful imagination can be. One day, an actor asked the wild writer Hunter S. Thompson, "What's the sound of one hand clapping?" Hunter didn't say a word. He just smacked the guy in the head. Lesson learned. Don't ask a strange question to a stranger who owns guns and weird wisdom. Blind people often lose memories because they can't see them again like others do. But a company called Touchable Memories helps by turning old photos into 3D printed objects. So now, blind folks can feel their memories, like holding a hug that time forgot. There are a few places where the boss is more likely to be a woman than a man. In Jamaica, Colombia, and St. Lucia, girl power rules the office. It's not just a small thing. It's the normal thing. Those countries know who really gets stuff done. Crickets can actually tell you the temperature. Just count how many chirps they make in 25 seconds, divide it by 3, then add 4. Boom, that's the temperature in Celsius. It's like nature gave these bugs tiny weather apps built into their legs. There's a secret rainbow that only shows up at night. It's called a moonbow. You need a full moon, dark sky, and just the right amount of rain. Then, like magic, a ghost rainbow appears in the night. It's rare, beautiful, and feels like a fairy tale came true. The longest solar eclipse of this century lasted a little over 6 minutes. That might not sound like much, but for those few moments the sky went dark in the daytime, and the whole world paused to stare. And no eclipse will beat it for more than 100 years. Most planets spin one way, but Venus and Uranus said nah and spin the opposite. It's like the whole solar system is dancing left, and those two are busting moves to the right. Just to be different, even in space, rebels exist. Pope Francis set a record just by joining Instagram. In half a day, he had over 1 million followers, more than anyone ever before. And his first post wasn't a selfie, it was a simple prayer with a caption asking everyone in 9 languages to pray for him. Before he was yelling in movies, Samuel L. Jackson was just standing still. Literally. He worked as Bill Cosby's camera stand-in. That means he stood in one spot while the camera guy focused. Quiet, still, no snakes on a plane. Just patience and lighting checks. Leonardo da Vinci didn't just paint stuff. He wrote all his private notes backwards. You had to use a mirror to read them. He wasn't hiding secrets from enemies, just writing in a way only he could quickly read. Oh, and he was dyslexic too. Brain-wired like a riddle. Long ago, students could pay off college with just a summer job. In the late 70s, it only took a few hundred hours a year to cover tuition. Now, students have to work 5 times more just to survive college. Back then, books and beer. Now, stress and debt. There's a chemical called Penguin 1. And yes, it's named that because its molecule shape looks like a little penguin waddling around. Science doesn't always have to be serious. It can be adorable and nerdy at the same time. The heaviest man ever weighed as much as a small truck. Over 600 kilograms. His name was John, and later he dropped nearly 400 kilos. That's the biggest weight loss ever recorded. His body was like a mountain, and then he climbed down from it. The guy who made the horror movie The Human Centipede got the idea from a dark joke. He said child predators should be punished by being stitched together. Somehow that joke became a film. Proof that not all thoughts belong outside your head. In South Africa, a baboon named Jack worked for the railway. Yes, an actual baboon. He pulled levers, signaled trains, and never made a mistake. Jack worked until he died and even got a paycheck. Monkeys can mess around, but this one had a career. Scientists now say we have more than 5 senses. There's one that tells you time is passing, and another that helps you feel Earth's magnetic field. So yeah, your body might secretly be a clock and a compass too. You're more high-tech than you think. Back in the day, a company thought it could fix addiction with heroin. Seriously, in the late 1800s, they sold it as a cough syrup and a cure for morphine cravings. People didn't know better yet, but the result was, well, chaos. An engineer in Argentina built a machine to make it rain. And guess what? It worked. He made the skies pour water in several places. Then he vanished. Like, just disappeared. One day he's controlling clouds. Next day, gone. It's like he rained himself off the map. In 2012, shawarma got famous overnight thanks to the Avengers. After saving the world, the superheroes chilled at a shawarma joint. That 10-second scene made the food so popular that restaurants across America couldn't keep up. Iron Man sells sandwiches now. There's a tiny island near Colombia that's more packed than a music festival. It's called Santa Cruz del Islote, and it's smaller than a football field but holds thousands of people. There's barely space to breathe, but somehow it's a home full of life. A company started printing fake rhino horns that look and feel like real ones. Why? To flood the market in countries where they're used in traditional medicine. If prices drop and buyers can't tell the difference, poaching real rhinos might finally stop. Science is fighting back, cleverly. The movie Straight Outta Compton didn't play in Compton. Why? Because there are no movie theaters there. The film about their own story couldn't be seen by the people who lived it. That's like throwing a party but locking the host outside. In the UK, a guy got so sick of potholes never getting fixed, he started spray painting wieners on them. Yep. Giant glowing penises. Suddenly, the city rushed to cover them up. The guy became a legend and earned the nickname Wanksy. Sometimes you gotta be weird to get results. Off the coast of Iceland, there's a rock that looks exactly like a giant elephant. Not kinda elephant, full elephant. Big head, trunk dipping into the sea, the whole deal. It's not art. It's just nature saying, I can sculpt too. The rich bully Biff in Back to the Future, totally inspired by Donald Trump. Same gold obsession, same loud mouth, same smug face. The writers didn't even hide it. Trump became a time-traveling villain without even knowing it. There's a bookstore in Australia where you can't judge a book by its cover. Literally, every book is wrapped in paper with just a few words to describe what's inside. So when you choose one, it's all about mystery, not flashy covers. Feels like a lucky dip for your brain. In Albania, things get real confusing. Nodding your head means no, and shaking your head means yes. Imagine trying to order food there and looking like you're having a full-on meltdown. It's like their heads speak a different language. Your taste buds live a short, exciting life. They last about a week or two, then get replaced like little flavor soldiers. Rats' taste buds can last just a few days or sometimes almost a month. So yeah, your tongue is constantly under construction. Over a dozen honeymooning couples were on the Titanic when it sank. Not one of them survived. They boarded the ship dreaming of forever and ended up becoming part of a story no one ever forgets. Love met tragedy in the coldest waters. Dogs go nuts for anise, an herb that smells sweet and spicy. It's like catnip, but for dogs. In fact, the fake bunny used in greyhound races, covered in anise scent. It makes dogs chase it like their life depends on it. Instant canine obsession. The hardest bone in your body isn't your skull, it's your jawbone. It's like the built-in armor of your face. It lets you chew, yell, and bite with power. So when you clench your jaw during an argument, just know. It's the strongest muscle in your head joining the fight. Believe it or not, licking a stamp burns calories. In the US, it's barely a sliver of 1 calorie. But in Britain, it's way more. Up to 14 calories if you lick a big commemorative stamp. So, if you're dieting, maybe stop licking Queen Elizabeth's face. Camels have not 1, not 2, but 3 eyelids. They've got a special thin one they can see through, like a windshield in a sandstorm. Blowing dust can't touch them. Their eyes are basically tanks in desert goggles. Quit smoking, and in just 2 days, your sense of taste and smell wake up like they've been on vacation. Food tastes richer. Smells get sharper. Your body basically says, "Thanks for not poisoning me today." Potatoes are almost a complete food. A man once ate nothing but potatoes for 60 days straight, baked, mashed, boiled, and stayed totally healthy. Proof that sometimes the most boring food is secretly a superhero in disguise. A goat farm in Virginia once posted online asking people to come snuggle baby goats. No surprise, the sign-up list filled instantly. Who wouldn't want to cuddle tiny fluffy goats for a living? It's like heaven with hooves. After Borat's wild movie made Kazakhstan famous for all the wrong reasons, something strange happened. Tourism exploded. The country actually thanked the actor. 10 times more people started visiting, proving that even satire can make your homeland trend. A woman moved into a nursing home and had to leave her cat behind, but 2 weeks later the cat showed up, at the exact place even though she'd never been there before. She waited on a bench like, "Hey, I found you." Now they live there together. In Mumbai, artists are turning regular taxis into moving masterpieces. They redecorate the entire inside with bright colors, patterns, and stories. It's called the Taxi Fabric Project, and it turns your daily ride into a mobile art museum. In Italy, there's a tree growing on top of another tree. For real. It's a cherry tree sprouting out of a mulberry tree's trunk. No science experiment, just nature doing a double-decker surprise. They call it the double tree of Casorzo, and it's as cool as it sounds. Some people need barely any sleep and still feel awesome. They're called the sleepless elite. Their brains work fast, they stay sharp, and they get up early with energy to spare. While the rest of us hit snooze, they're already winning the day. A brain scientist scanned his own head as a test and discovered he had the same brain patterns as a psychopath. When he told his family, they weren't shocked at all. They just said, "That explains a lot." Imagine realizing your own brain is the villain in the story. Argentine ants don't just rule one place. They have a mega colony that spreads across continents. If one ant hopped on a plane to another country, the ants there would actually welcome it like family. It's the world's biggest friendship circle, made of ants. A study once tested rats on different music while sober and on cocaine. Guess what? Sober rats liked peace and quiet. But give them a little cocaine and suddenly they were all about jazz. So even rats have wild party personalities hidden inside. 2 scientists once raised a baby chimp alongside their real human son to see if the chimp would act more human. But after 9 months, it was the kid who started acting like a chimp. They had to stop before their son joined the jungle. In Japan, gun laws are so strict that even after a police officer died by suicide with a gun, he was still legally charged, after death, for breaking the law. That's how seriously they take rules. Not even death lets you off the hook. Ravens are genius-level birds. They hide food from each other using clever tricks. But the twist is, other ravens are just as smart. They'll secretly watch and then steal it later. It's like a battle of bird brains with sneaky minds and sharp beaks. Coffee isn't just a wake-up drink. It's a health booster. Studies say it helps fight cancer, reduces the risk of diabetes, and even improves how your body functions. So next time someone says too much coffee is bad, Just sip and smile like a healthy wizard. John F. Kennedy's grandmother outlived him, but she was never told about his assassination. Her family wanted to protect her heart, so while the whole world mourned, she never knew the tragic truth. Sometimes silence is the only way to shield love. Looney Tunes weren't just made to make people laugh. Back in the early days, the company behind them used cartoons to sneakily promote their own music. Bugs Bunny and Friends were basically walking, talking jukebox ads with hilarious timing. When Gmail was first announced, it offered 1 gigabyte of storage. People thought it was a joke, especially since Hotmail gave you barely anything. But nope, it was real. A wild offer, and boom! Google changed the email game forever. If you could drive a car straight up at normal speed, you'd reach space in just 1 hour. That's right, outer space is basically a sky-high road trip away. Earth's ceiling isn't as far as you think. It's just a very vertical commute. Napoleon wanted a way for his soldiers to communicate silently at night. No light, no sound. So a special system of touch-based code was invented. That same idea later became Braille. So yeah, military missions helped blind people read. Niccolo Paganini was so good at playing the violin that people thought he made a deal with the devil. To prove he was human, he had to show letters from his mom. Imagine being so talented that people think you're possessed. During a Cold War meeting, the leaders of the US and the Soviet Union casually agreed, if aliens ever attack Earth, we hit pause on the fight and join forces. Enemies on Earth, but united against little green guys from space. There's a toxic lake in England that looked so pretty, people kept swimming in it despite danger signs. So they dyed the water black to make it look gross. Now, no one wants to take a dip. Safety by ugliness. Clever and weird. 70 meters underground, there's a hotel room inside a cave that's millions of years old. It's dark, cold, quiet, and kinda spooky. But if you like your sleep with ancient vibes, this is the most peaceful and creepy place on Earth. Silk was once China's biggest secret. For thousands of years, they didn't let anyone else know how to make it. If you even whispered the secret, you'd be sentenced to death. That's how much power one shiny thread held. A Japanese gymnast broke his knee during the Olympics, but didn't tell anyone. He kept flipping, jumping, and landing like a superhero in pain. His team won gold, and no one knew he was hurting until afterward. His toughness is the stuff of legend. In one town in Australia, everyone lives underground. Yup, houses, shops, even churches are inside old opal mines. It's cool, quiet, and sometimes they even find more opals while remodeling. Who needs sunlight when your home might contain treasure? An artist named Susan Beatrice turns old watch parts into tiny steampunk animals. She uses bits of broken time to create new life. It's like turning junk into art and forgotten gears into dragons, owls, and magic. When he was just 17, a kid named George unlocked the very first iPhone and traded it for a car. A real one, a Nissan sports car, and 3 more locked phones. Who needs money when you've got skills and Wi-Fi? In Japan, there's a sneaky pepper called the shishito. Only 1 in 10 is actually spicy, but you never know which one. It's like a chili pepper version of Russian roulette. Take a bite and pray your mouth doesn't catch fire. Some people daydream so much that it becomes a disorder. It's called maladaptive daydreaming, where the brain creates fantasy worlds to escape real-life pain. It's not laziness, it's the mind building castles to survive storms. More people have died taking selfies than from shark attacks. Yep, phones are more dangerous than fins. So, next time you lean over a cliff or stand on train tracks for a photo, just remember, Jaws isn't the real villain. Treadmills weren't made for fitness. They were actually invented to punish prisoners in Old England. People walked endlessly on them as a form of hard labor. Imagine thinking you're getting fit, but you're actually doing time. A doctor once tried to weigh the human soul. He put dying people on scales and claimed the moment they died, the weight dropped slightly. People still debate it, but the idea that the soul has mass? That's science meets mystery. The things you go through in life don't just affect your memory, they leave marks on your DNA. It's like writing stories inside your cells. So when something hits you hard, that impact might be passed down, like emotional fingerprints to your future family. A photographer named Champu Baritone made a project that exposed how fake Instagram can be. She showed what's just outside the fancy frame: messy rooms, boring scenes, and reality. It's a reminder that behind every perfect post might be a pile of laundry. Some organ transplant patients suddenly crave new foods or feel strange thoughts. It's called cellular memory. Scientists think the organs carry tiny bits of the donor's feelings. It's like your body keeps secrets, then shares them when it moves into someone new. There's a rare fish called the blue lingcod, and yes, its flesh is actually blue. But once you cook it, the color disappears like magic. It's like eating a fish made from ocean sky that turns normal on your plate. Nature's trick food. The first cloned mammal was a sheep named Dolly. Scientists made her from a single adult cell, and they named her after Dolly Parton, because the cell came from a mammary gland. Science with a sense of humor. Mosquitoes can smell the carbon dioxide from your breath from over 20 meters away. That's how they hunt you down at night. They don't see you, they sniff you. So, every breath is basically a dinner bell for these little vampires. A galactic year is how long it takes our solar system to go all the way around the Milky Way. That trip takes about 200 million Earth years. So, yeah, you're moving through space, but the road trip is longer than dinosaurs' entire history. The aorta is the biggest, thickest highway in your body. It's your main artery, and it's as wide as a garden hose. That giant pipe helps pump blood from your heart to every part of you, your very own high-pressure delivery system. There's a dog breed called the Basenji that can't bark. Instead, it makes a weird yodel squeal. It's like the dog wants to be a singer but forgot how to woof. It's small, square-shaped, and sounds like it came from another planet. The Japanese made a toy called Mugen Puti Puti that lets you pop pretend bubble wrap forever. It's a little plastic gadget with poppable buttons that never wear out. For anyone addicted to popping bubbles, this is your forever fix. Some Mexican shamans started using Coca-Cola in healing rituals. When Pepsi heard, they offered money to get shamans to switch brands. Yup, even in spiritual ceremonies, the soda wars were real. Keiko, the whale from Free Willy, got released into the wild after 2 decades in captivity. But guess what? He missed humans. He swam back to people, gave kids rides on his back, and looked for hugs. Real life had a happier ending than the movie. When it comes to job hunting, your resume isn't the golden ticket. Knowing someone at the company boosts your chances way more. It's not always what you know, it's who you know that gets your foot in the door. In China, a blind man and a man with no arms teamed up to plant 10,000 trees. One couldn't see, the other couldn't dig, but together they became unstoppable. They didn't wait for help, they became the help. In 2014, Scotland topped the charts. Not in music, but in cocaine use. According to World Reports, they were using more than any other country. The land of bagpipes had another darker rhythm going. On his deathbed, the French philosopher Voltaire was asked if he'd renounce Satan. He smirked and said, "Now is not the time to be making new enemies." Yep, even dying, he dropped one last mic. The clown in American Horror Story was so terrifying that even the crew got scared. Some people had nightmares, and others literally walked off set. That's when you know your acting is too good. H.G. Wells, the father of science fiction, spent his last breath telling people, "Go away, I'm all right." Like, bro, what a way to leave. Calm, sharp, and done with the drama. Studies in the UK found that short women who sit close to the wheel are most likely to be hurt by airbags. Turns out sometimes being small and safe-looking actually puts you in the danger zone. McDonald's in Hong Kong offers weddings. For just over $1,000, you get food, drinks, decorations, and 50 guests chowing down on apple pie, love, fries, and a budget-friendly ring. A report once found that more than half of pilots admitted to falling asleep mid-flight. Even crazier, almost a third said they woke up to find their co-pilot asleep too. So yeah, autopilot is doing more than just cruising. A German company made an elevator that doesn't need ropes. It uses magnets to move, and it can even go sideways. It's like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory meets engineering. Elevators that zip around like trains. Professors found that people who spend less money on their weddings and rings are less likely to get divorced. Turns out, happily ever after doesn't need diamonds. It just needs people who don't empty their wallets to say, "I do." Only one fish on Earth is warm-blooded. It's called the opa, and it looks like a big, shiny coin. While all other fish feel the cold, this one swims around like it's wearing an invisible heater suit. Pixar took 3 years just to get Merida's curly hair right in Brave. They didn't just draw curls. They studied the physics of how each strand moved. That fiery red mess of waves took more science than some rockets. If you ever see a dolphin washed up on the beach, don't rush to push it back. Sometimes dolphins beach themselves on purpose because they're sick or hurt. It's their way of saying, "I need rest, not water." Helping might actually make things worse. Way back in Germany, a pigeon owner and a beekeeper decided to race their animals over 5 kilometers. They wanted to know who was faster. Shockingly, the bee won by a few seconds. So yeah, tiny wings beat feathers that day. During wartime, when the Confederate Army ran out of gunpowder, they raided bat caves. Not for bats, but for poop. Bat poop has a chemical that helps make explosions. So yeah, in that war, even poop had a part to play. Pablo Escobar once built his own prison. It had a soccer field, a jacuzzi, a bar, and even a waterfall. He called it La Catedral. He lived there like a king until he got bored and walked out. Jail? More like jungle resort. Wild chimpanzees don't just swing and scream. They actually look both ways before crossing the road. A museum study showed that more than half of them even run to be safe. These apes are basically jungle traffic experts. Somewhere out in space is a star made of diamond. It's huge and shines like a jewel. And scientists named it Lucy. Yes, after the Beatles song. It's 10 trillion billion carats. That's not just a rock, it's the biggest bling in the universe. In 2013, a dog named Killian started growling whenever the babysitter showed up. He stood between her and the baby like a little bodyguard. The parents set up a camera and caught her being abusive. The dog didn't bark. He spoke loud with loyalty. In one magical spot in Panama, you can actually watch the sun rise on the Pacific Ocean and set on the Atlantic. It's the only place where the sun plays both sides, saying hello and goodbye from opposite oceans. A kid named Frank accidentally invented the popsicle. He left some sugary soda outside with a stick in it overnight. In the morning, it was frozen. He called it the Epsicle, but people renamed it Popsicle, and the name stuck harder than the stick. There's a real fear called allodoxophobia. It means you're terrified of other people's opinions. For people with this phobia, even simple feedback can feel like a personal attack. Their brain shouts danger at every "I think," someone says. When a bunch of flamingos get together, they aren't called a flock. They're called a flamboyance. That's right, they even sound fabulous in groups. Bright, pink, and dramatic, like a fashion show with feathers. One guy had the hiccups for nearly 70 years. Charles Osborne hiccuped over 40 times a minute, and no one could fix it. Then one day, they just stopped. No warning, no cure, just poof. Silence after a lifetime of hiccup beats. A hospital in New York turned their scary CT scan room into a pirate adventure. Kids walk the plank and lie on a boat to get scanned. It's less beep boop and more ahoy matey. That's how you mix medicine with magic. A man named Stephen escaped from prison 4 times, like it was a game. Once he walked out. Another time he pretended to be a judge, then a doctor. Then he faked his own death. But eventually the law said, "Nice try," and gave him over a century behind bars. Dave Grohl once landed in the hospital not from drugs, but from drinking too much coffee. He was recording an album and chugging cup after cup until his heart said, "Chill." Turns out even rock stars can overdose on espresso. Researchers found that trusting people doesn't make you dumb. It actually makes you better at spotting lies. The more you believe in good, the faster you notice bad. Kindness can sharpen your instincts more than suspicion ever could. One Japanese soldier stayed on duty for 30 years after World War II ended. He lived on a jungle island, still wearing his uniform, waiting. His old commander had to personally travel there to tell him, "Hey, the war's over." In the 70s, scientists found a family in Siberia who had lived alone in the wilderness since the 1930s. No TV, no radio, no other people. Just them, trees, and survival. It was like discovering humans hidden in time. Pumbaa, the funny warthog from The Lion King, made history by being the first Disney character to fart on screen. Before him, Disney kept it classy. But Pumbaa broke the gas ceiling with pride and grunts. Purple used to be the color of kings. It came from sea snails, and making even a tiny amount required thousands of them. Only royals could afford it. So wearing purple wasn't just stylish, it was like shouting, "I'm richer than all of you." If you drop an ant from any height, even a tall building, it won't get hurt. They're so light, gravity doesn't bother them. They just float gently to the ground like little bug parachutes. The Concorde jet flew faster than sound. It could take people from London to New York in just 3 hours. That's half the time of normal planes. It was like riding thunder with wings before it retired in the early 2000s. On the set of Apocalypse Now, things got real, literally. The props team used real dead bodies instead of fake ones. They didn't even know until the smell got too strong to ignore. That's when they realized the horror had crossed the line. There's a conference that's all about boring things. People give talks about barcodes, sneezes, even vending machine sounds. It's called The Boring Conference. And it's weirdly popular, because even boring stuff can be oddly fascinating when you dig deep enough. Scientists discovered that your brain, the internet, and even the entire universe all grow in the same weird, webby way. Like, no joke. They share the same patterns. Tiny nodes, giant webs, constant expansion. It's like everything is connected by invisible spaghetti. In Norway, if you drive an electric car, you get free parking, free charging, and even access to the bus lane. So many people jumped on it that the government had to dial the perks back. Saving the planet became the new traffic jam. The guy who invented shopping carts had to hire models to pretend they liked using them. People were weirded out at first, but once they saw stylish folks rolling carts around the store, they thought, "Hey, maybe I should push one too." The first 3D movie ever was called The Power of Love and premiered in the early 1920s. Sadly, the 3D version disappeared, and the regular version was later renamed. It's like a movie that peeked into the future, then vanished into history. Christopher Robin from Winnie the Pooh was real, and he didn't like the books. The The stories were based on his childhood, and he felt like his dad used his life to make money. Imagine growing up as a character you didn't ask to be. After a tsunami, a baby hippo got separated from his mom and found a giant tortoise. Thinking it was a fellow hippo, he followed it around, and they became best friends, a tiny mammal and an ancient reptile. Nature's odd couple. In 2005, an artist painted Facebook's first office and got paid in shares instead of money. That guy is now worth over $200 million. His brushstrokes became gold. Literally. There's a bird with a sword for a nose. It's called the sword-billed hummingbird, and its beak is longer than its entire body. It looks like someone glued a fencing sword to a bird's face and gave it wings. A high schooler named Hayden saved up for over a year, worked multiple jobs, and bought a flower for every girl in his school, over 800 of them, just so they'd all feel special. Real-life kindness level, superhero. Watching your favorite movie again and again isn't lazy. It's therapy. Knowing how it ends gives your brain comfort and control in a world that feels wild. It's like emotional popcorn with a hug inside. After Finding Nemo came out, everyone wanted a clownfish in their home tank. The demand for those little orange fish tripled, and that led to overfishing, hurting wild populations. A movie about saving fish ended up putting more of them in danger. Even Al-Qaeda once said that ISIS was too extreme. When terrorists say, "Whoa, that's too much," you know something has gone completely off the rails. A guy named Seth once wrote a song saying comas were stupid. Then he actually went into a coma. When he woke up, someone asked him what it felt like. He said, "It was just as stupid as I wrote it was." Mona Lisa wasn't always a superstar painting. She became world famous only after being stolen in the early 1900s. The theft made headlines, and when she was found, the world couldn't stop staring. So basically, she got famous for going missing. Hyenas don't really laugh, they giggle. That's what scientists call the sound they make. It's loud, creepy, and can travel super far. When you hear that sound echoing across the savannah, it's not a joke. It's wild communication. Your bones are tougher than you think. Just a tiny cube of human bone can hold the weight of 5 pickup trucks. That's stronger than concrete. So yeah, under all that skin, you're part superhero. Barbie's full name is Barbara Millicent Roberts. Ken's is Ken Carson. Their creator named Barbie after her own daughter. So even plastic dolls have full names and family roots. High up on an Australian mountain live giant pink slugs. Yes, real pink slugs like gooey bubblegum with eyes. Some grow almost as long as your forearm. They're slimy, weird, and weirdly adorable. On D-Day, fake soldiers were dropped to confuse the enemy. These dummy paratroopers were called Ruperts, and they had sound effects and self-destruct features. They were like inflatable secret agents made of canvas and trickery. Believe it or not, penguins and chimps sometimes trade favors for food or nesting materials. Scientists have seen it, exchanging stones or treats for attention or, well, mating time. Nature invented a strange economy long before humans did. Ed, leaving no trace. This wasn't in a spy movie, it was a real tool created by agents, revealed years later during a government meeting. A guy in China had both his current and ex-girlfriend jump into a river just to see who he would rescue. He only saved the one he was dating. The other swam back out alone. Sometimes love gets ridiculous, and sometimes it turns into a swimming contest no one wins. When a tiny grain of sand sneaks inside an oyster, it hurts. So the oyster covers it in smooth layers like wrapping a blanket around a splinter. Over time, that coating becomes a pearl. Something painful slowly transforms into something beautiful, all thanks to a sea creature's clever survival trick. Long ago, squirrels weren't city animals. People in America wanted to make parks more exciting, so they brought squirrels in for fun. Before that, these little guys lived mostly in forests. Now, thanks to that experiment, they're part of almost every urban park across the country. Believe it or not, the milk of a hippo isn't white. It's pink. Nature didn't go with the usual color. This special shade comes from chemicals in their body that mix with the milk. It's like bubblegum-colored nutrition, straight from the wildest animals on the riverbanks. Cold weather might make you shiver, but your fingernails actually grow faster when you're chilly. Scientists think it has something to do with blood flow or energy use. Either way, your body responds to the cold by speeding up nail growth, even while your teeth are chattering. Snails can sleep longer than most animals can live. Some naps last for years. When the weather's not right or conditions get rough, they simply shut down. While the world keeps spinning, they rest quietly, waiting for the perfect time to come back out. Crocodiles are scary fast on land, but they're not very good at turning. If one ever chases you, don't run in a straight line. Zigzag. That weird little movement confuses them and helps you escape. It's not just a trick, it actually works in real life. Vending machines seem harmless, but more people have died trying to shake snacks out of them than from shark attacks. They're heavy, they tip over, and they crush. That chocolate bar might cost your life if you get too aggressive trying to make it fall. In the ocean, dolphins use names. They create unique whistles for each other, and those sounds stick for life. It's their way of saying, hey, that's me. Like humans calling each other by name, dolphins swim through life with personal sounds that help them stay connected. A grenade that explodes underwater is more dangerous than one on land. That's because water doesn't give the shockwave space to escape. Instead, the force slams straight into anything nearby. So even though it's underwater, the damage is even worse than you'd expect. If a crocodile bites you, there's one place you can press that will make it let go: its eyes. As terrifying as it sounds, pushing your thumbs into a crocodile's eyes can free you. It's the one spot their power can't protect, and they hate being touched there. The voice behind Bugs Bunny had a strange problem. He was allergic to carrots. Every time he chomped on one for a recording, he had to spit it out immediately. Even though his character loved carrots, the actor himself couldn't stand more than a bite. Because the Earth spins, objects thrown west actually go farther than those thrown east. The spin gives westward throws a secret boost. It's like tossing a ball while the ground beneath you is quietly moving in your favor. Space physics playing on your team. Most of the food we eat today comes from farmers who lived high in the Andes Mountains. Things like potatoes, peanuts, beans, and strawberries were all discovered or cultivated there. Those ancient farmers shaped the entire world's diet without ever knowing it. Right-handed people tend to live longer than left-handed ones. It might be because tools and machines are designed for the majority, or maybe it's just weird luck. But year after year, the numbers say that being right-handed gives you a better shot at old age. If you start spelling out numbers with words, you won't find the letter A until you hit 1,000. That's a lot of counting without the most common vowel. It hides in the background, letting other letters do the early work while it waits its turn. Vodka is so important to one country that it provides a huge chunk of government income. It's not just a drink, it's a source of cash. Bottles get poured, glasses get raised, and somewhere behind the scenes, national budgets get balanced. Back in old times, if a clan wanted someone gone but didn't want to kill them, they'd burn down that person's house. That's where the term "got fired" came from. It wasn't about jobs. It was about setting flames to someone's home and forcing them out. People often say humans only use a tiny part of their brains, just a sliver of what's really there. While it's not exactly true in a scientific sense, it's a reminder that the brain holds more power, creativity, and potential than most of us will ever actually tap into. A single bag of potato chips can cost hundreds of times more than the potatoes inside it. That crunch, that salt, that fancy logo, it all adds up. Somewhere along the way, simple farm food became a gold-plated snack. Marketing, packaging, and convenience turned cheap roots into pricey temptation. If someone loses sight in one eye, they don't lose half their vision. They only lose a small slice, but depth disappears. No more judging how close something is, no more catching easily. The world stays mostly visible, but suddenly flat, like watching life on a television screen. Celery is like a fitness test disguised as food. It has so few calories that your body actually burns more energy chewing and digesting it than it gains. Eating it is like doing a tiny workout with your jaw. It's not just crunchy, it's practically negative fuel. Kids laugh way more than adults. Hundreds of giggles burst out of them every day, while grown-ups average barely a dozen. That laughter helps children stay curious, optimistic, and creative. Somewhere along the way, adults lose that spark, but maybe laughing more is the secret to bringing it back. So that's it for today. Hope you liked watching this video. But don't stop now. Before you go, hit that next video, because if these facts blew your mind, the next one might just blow your body.